Okay, but the action continues here at Triton Fights, presented by Tiger Life. It's a featherweight title match. Our first of 4 title fights. Mike Fitzroy and Vilson Ndregjoni. That's how he told me he wanted me to say it.
Very nice roll of the R.
He was very specific when he said that. It's our first title fight of the night, and it's coming up next.
And now, our 10th bout of the night, the Triton Featherweight title. Coming out of the blue corner, Vilson Ndregjoni.
Oh, anyone that comes into the cage or ring, can't be touched, can't be stopped. Roy Jones Jr., baby. I actually interviewed Roy Jones Jr. and asked him about this song. He had no idea that it had like 193 million views on YouTube. He's like, wait a second, I gotta get paid from this.
Who's the artist?
I actually don't even know. But Roy Jones has his own version of this where he raps on it.
I was guessing that.
Roy Jones is one of the only fighters ever to...
Didn't he rap his own entrance when he came into the ring?
He was the only fighter ever to rap his way into the ring. One time he played basketball, professional basketball during the day and fought at night and earned a knockout. One of the all-time legends of the fight game, Roy Jones Jr.
He just fought recently too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That's why I interviewed him, because it was supposedly the last fight of his career.
Won by knockout too, really?
Yeah, it was on the UFC Fight Pass. Here you're looking at Vilson Ndregjoni. He's going to look to make his own legacy for himself. 26 years old, fighting out of New Jersey. Got a strong wrestling background in his home country of Albania. Real no-nonsense type of guy, and I got to talk to him at the fighter meetings. Said, I just want to go in there and win. I just want to win. I was like, okay, I'll leave you alone now.
And now for his opponent, coming out of the red corner, Mike Fitzroy.
Another fighter here from Long Island MMA. It's Mike Fitzroy. He's 3-0. Promising featherweight.
He definitely wins the award for best mustache of the night.
Look at that thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that mustache is undefeated as well.
Here he comes, Mike Fitzroy. Your last number 13th ranked amateur bantamweight. Tonight he fights for the featherweight title. Coming off of an impressive win over Sarabak Tukatsanov back in December of 2017. Made his debut with us and came back all the way back at Triton Fights back in 2016. He had a nice armbar victory over Juan Penaloza.
Well, he just took a little bit of time off because he was very busy with the Mythbusters television show that he works on.
What is that?
The Mythbusters television show.
Wow.
Have you ever seen that? The guys with the funny mustaches?
Are you being serious?
No, I'm joking.
Okay. So you would have had me.
Very careful not to grease up that mustache.
Yeah, he's avoiding it.
Well, there's an inordinate amount of wax in there to get that to curl that way.
You can just take it right off the mustache and slide it to his face. Take a look at the tail of tape for our first title fight of the night. This one comes in the featherweight division. Mike Fitzroy, 2 inches taller than Ndregjoni, has a little bit of an experience advantage in there. Both fighters weighing just under the featherweight limit of 145 pounds. 3 3-minute rounds will determine your winner. And like I said, the featherweight title is on the line. Steve Peacock in his impeccable red tuxedo in the center of the cage has the official introduction.
Our referee for the vacant Triton Featherweight title bout, Mr. Chris Molina. Triton Fights 9 is presented by Tiger Life Energy. Energy never tasted so good. And by Condemned Labs, LI Live Cryotherapy, Footlocks of Long Island, Virtual Realms, Beyond Average Apparel, and Frameworks Design join us at tonight's after party at Cans of Westbury. First up, we have a 26-year-old fighter. He has a 1-1 record and secured his first win at Triton Fights number 8. He represents AMA Fight Club. Out of the blue corner, Vilson Ndregjoni. His opponent has a 3-0 record, including a win at Triton Fights number 5. Representing Long Island MMA, out of the red corner, Mike Fitzroy.
Okay, boys, first title fight of the night. Still got 2 more title fights after this one. The vacant featherweight title is on the line. Mike Fitzroy in the all black coming out of the red corner. Vilson Ndregjoni, he's in the black and white trunks with his name on across the back. He's fighting out of the blue corner.
Now Vilson has something very interesting written on his shorts. It says Castrati with a K, and that's a clan in Albania that lives up in the mountains.
Would not want to mess with them.
How do you know that?
I saw you Googling it.
I Googled it. I looked it up on Wikipedia.
Great research from our international Googler, Eric Ott. Right now, he's putting in the work on Mike Fitzroy. See if he's going to go back to that little village in the mountains as the
Beautiful sprawl by Fitzroy. A very fast shot by Vilson, and Fitzroy sprawled very appropriately.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but as the night has gone on, the skill level has certainly risen. We've seen it with our last fight that was outstanding. This one is not disappointing, just 45 short seconds into the match.
Frenetic pace here, huh?
Both of these guys have very similar fighting style.
Frenetic grapplers. Vilson seems to have the edge of his speed a little bit.
Nice little shot in the back of the head. You got to watch for those, but Ndregjoni landed a nice overhand right on the ground. Fitzroy working on that single leg, really not in a good position to secure it, mostly because Ndregjoni's sprawling beautifully. Looking to get the back now. Oof.
What a transition.
Now Fitzroy is an excellent scrambler. We've seen in his other fights when he gets in trouble, if he
does.
initiates a scramble.
Nice
Nice
shine
uppercut.
action.
Yeah.
Nice right hand from Ndregjoni. Goes right in for a takedown, secures it. You're looking at some high octane action here at Triton Fights. Both fighters want to take home that featherweight title.
These gentlemen are trading.
Fitzroy wants to bring it back to Long Island. Ndregjoni wants to bring it up to the mountains of Albania.
Nice regard. Very, very technical stuff there to Fitzroy to regain his half guard there. That was beautiful. Ndregjoni had his arm trapped with his shin.
Big overhand ground and pound there, boys. Ndregjoni is throwing those hands with mean intentions.
Both of these fighters are built to throw those short, powerful, choppy punches.
Right, they have the same body type.
Fitzroy really committing to those uppercuts, and they're paying dividends.
You know, you very rarely see uppercuts in MMA, but it's a fight. It's a punch that always seems to find its mark.
You know, when you get in that close, most fighters are just so accustomed to clinching and grabbing each other, going for a takedown, that maybe you can slip one in if you're game, but if your opponent grabs you, then that's it, you're tied up.
Nice takedown from Ndregjoni, throwing bombs. Closing in on a very back and forth, very competitive round number 1 between Mike Fitzroy and Vilson Ndregjoni. This one's for the title, folks. Wow.
The question here is, can he keep that pace up? That was a really high pace for that first round.
All right, Eric, I'll ask you like I have all night. How'd you have that one scored?
I would say that round to Ndregjoni, say 10-9. Even though it was very close, he did get the slightly better of all the grappling exchanges and was able to land some very good ground and pound while he was on top.
Take a look at some of the action here from round number 1. Tiger brought to you by Footlux of Long Island. Just look at the strength from Ndregjoni, Dave, and throwing those big bombs.
Yeah, I mean, he set a really ridiculous pace in that first round. A lot of energy, a lot of speed. Like I said, I'm wondering if it's going to stay at that same pace.
Continue the action here. Round number 2. We're scheduled for 3. The featherweight title's on the line. It's a vacant featherweight title. Mike Fitzroy in the all-black.
Nice right hand out of Fitzroy.
Vilson Ndregjoni. He's in the black and white trunks.
Seems like Fitzroy has a lot of luck with his punching, throwing Ndregjoni off, and it's sort of like breaking up his shots when he's able to throw 1 or 2 punches before the Ndregjoni's able to shoot.
Very intelligent stuff. Both fighters. Another takedown.
Oh, there's a guillotine there. That looks pretty deep.
Fitzroy stands up, pops his head out. Ndregjoni. You know what it is in this fight? It's like everything, every movement, every punch is with bad intentions.
Fitzroy can get busy with that jab. He can maybe start to put Vilson on his back foot and stop some of those shots. Good sprawl. If I'm Fitzroy, I'd start getting busy on my jab and backing Vilson up to take a little steam
nice
off those.
Right hand lands by Ndregjoni. He missed with a left. He followed up with a right that partially grazed the chin of Fitzroy. For a second with the ref there.
Blatant hand cage grab there out of
Great
Vilson.
job out of our ref, Chris Molina, who's been outstanding tonight.
Beautiful knees by Fitzroy.
You're seeing a lot of good work here from both fighters. A lot of good technical stuff on the inside. When they get on the ground, it's very sophisticated.
Oof, nice overhand. Tell you what, the
outside leg kick as well.
The shots by Vilson are impressive, man. I mean, he shoots
He's
so
relentless.
fast,
Relentless.
and explosive and fast.
Ndregjoni, 26 years old. He said his game plan was to wrestle and grapple. He's going to do a little bit of everything tonight. He predicted a first-round knockout. Obviously not going to get that tonight. He'll take a win any way he can get, because that's the first thing, like I said. I was like, what do you want to do tonight? And how do you want to win? Because I don't care. I just want to win.
It looks, so far halfway through this fight, the stronger man seems to be in Vilson, and he's got a little bit slight of an edge on the grappling. Fitzroy's no slouch in the grappling, but it just looks like Ndregjoni's got a little bit more control and is dictating, where the fight takes place in terms of the grappling. But he's losing the stand-up portion.
I agree with you. I think that Ndregjoni's winning this fight. I think he's doing things in there just a little bit better. He's winning the exchanges. He's asserting himself when they get on the ground. Eric, do you agree?
I agree. Fitzroy lands a little bit better in the boxing end of things, but the takedown, he's just unable to stop. It's just too quick, and as soon as he gets back up.
Oh, Vilson's got a deep guillotine here.
Right as he's saved by the bell.
That was in deep.
Saved by the bell. I'll tell you what, good momentum heading into round 3 for Vilson Ndregjoni.
I'll tell you what, Vilson answered my question, too, about whether or not he was going to keep that pace up, and he did. Impressive conditioning from Vilson.
Eric, how'd you score that one?
I'd say that's another 10-9 round for Ndregjoni. He got the better of all of the work on the ground and had that submission attempt at the end and landed a couple good shots on the ground as well.
So according to Eric Gott's unofficial scorecard, he's got Ndregjoni up 2-0. Taking a look at Mike Fitzroy's corner here, Dave. What do you think he's being told there from Greg DiPasquale?
You got to think he's been getting the better of the stand-up exchanges. I think it'd be telling him to maybe try to control the distance and range a little bit to keep Vilson's shots from coming in as fast and getting under his punches. I'd like to see Mike get busy on his jab and put Vilson on his back foot so it takes a little bit of a speed off of the shots.
The 3 final minutes here in the fight. The Triton Fights featherweight title on the line.
Nice combination by Vilson.
Been a great fight so far. Look at him grabbing the back. He's relentless. Relentless is Ndregjoni. I tell you what, Fitzroy's been able to handle the pressure pretty well. He hasn't really looked that vulnerable at times.
No, Fitzroy's game. They both are. This is a hell of a fight.
If you look at the power of both fighters, Ndregjoni had Fitzroy in a headlock, and Fitzroy was just backing up almost like what do they call that, a good morning, when you put the weight on your neck and you bend forward? It was like good morning, lifting him up while his feet were planted and dragging across the mat.
Fitzroy looks like he's digging for a guillotine here.
He doesn't have the hand positioning.
Yeah, Vilson was fighting the hands well. Nice takedown.
Takedown right up against the cage. Listen, Mike Fitzroy's 3-0. Yeah, he hasn't fought. He's had a little lengthy layoff, but this is no slouch here. It's a guy that's contending for a title here with Triton Fights.
Vilson looks like he's going back for that choke.
A little north-south action here. So what's Vilson working on here, Eric?
He's just sort of holding him down at this point. There's not really a legitimate submission from this position right where they are right now.
Yeah.
If he's able to change his hand position on the other side of Fitzroy's shoulders, there's a choke from there, but right now, just hanging on.
Chris Molina, referee Chris Molina, he's instructing both fighters. You got to work. Not both fighters. Ndregjoni, got to work. Show me something. Closing in on 1 minute here, the final minute of the fight. The vacant featherweight title on the line. Ndregjoni landing some big bombs here on Fitzroy, the very game Fitzroy, who will look to move to 4-0.
Fitzroy's been using his head positioning while in an inferior position to mitigate Ndregjoni's ability to throw some strikes. He's been timing his strikes coming down, getting his head in deep so he can at least threaten for a takedown.
Oh, look at that.
Big shot.
Huge shot land right on the chin of Fitzroy. Man, Fitzroy's got a good chin.
He does. He's taken some shots in his other fights, and I've never seen him even really wobbled. But this is not where he wants to be to finish out the last 30 seconds of round 3.
$20 seconds here, round number 3.
You know, I thought the previous fight had fight of the night potential, but this one's giving it a run for its money for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Will the title be going into the mountains of Albania? And I'm talking about Vilson Ndregjoni, or it'll be right here in Long Island. Will Mike Fitzroy take home that title?
What a fight.
Look at that. Look at that just sportsmanship. Both fighters should be proud of the performance they put on for the fans.
The real winner of that fight was the fans. That was a great fight.
Everyone's on their feet right now.
Yeah, fans showing their appreciation, as they should.
The judges, they're tabulating their scorecards, but Eric, how'd you see that one?
I mean, that went the same way as rounds 1 and round 2. 10-9 Ndregjoni. I'd say that's an easy 30-27 division for the Albanian tonight.
And the judging's been good all night. There hasn't been any ridiculous scorecards. Shout out to the judges here.
Well, they're doing a very great job here in New York tonight.
But look at Vilson Ndregjoni with his Albanian fans here going crazy for him. I'll tell you what, I want to see him fight again.
Oh, I'm real excited to see him step back into the cage, hopefully at the next Triton fight to defend his belt.
All right, looks like Steve Peacock, he has the decision in his hands. Let's throw it up to him in the center of the cage.
And now we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge A scored 30-26. Judge B scored 30-27. Judge C scored 30-27. And the winner of the vacant Triton featherweight title belt by way of unanimous decision, came out of the blue corner, Vilson Ndregjoni.
Vilson Ndregjoni, he picks up the vacant featherweight title by unanimous decision. One of the judges had a 30-26, meaning that he had a 10-8 round in there. You could have saw that, but good judging all around, Eric.
Could have been the last round, possibly. Could have been a 10-8 round.
Yeah, when he was on top the whole time.
Fitzroy didn't really launch any effective offense in that round at all, but they are very rare and usually not given out unless one fighter is knocked down multiple times or runs away.
Let's hear from Vilson here. He's with Dave.
All right, guys, I'm here with your new featherweight champion, Vilson Ndregjoni. Very, very hard-fought competitive fight against a tough opponent, but you set a pace that looked ridiculous, man. Congratulations, how's it feel?
I feel very good. Thank you everybody to support me for my family, my coach. Thank you. A big thank you go for my sponsor, Amir. Thank you so much because he helped me to come here. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you everyone who's here. Thank you all my friends. And thank you my coach, Charlie, Halway, Eric, my partner, my cousin too. And thank you my coach wrestling is here. Thank you everybody. Thank you.
Impressive fight, give it up for your new champ, Vilson.